Welcome to the show, everyone. You know, I have with me Alexandra Seals, and she's the owner of King's World of Marble. And word on the street is if King's World of Marble can't fix it, nobody can. We are not only have you been a thank you for supporting the show, supporting me, and being here as long as you have, but also being, you know, after a while we become friends, right? And
well, I just hit it off right away.
I was just going to say it. You said it before me.
Yep.
We did. There was just something about us that clicked,
Yep.
and so and I'm happy that that happened because you know really we're very good friends now.
Yes.
Thank you for that. And I have to always ask everybody when they first come on, no matter what, you know, tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do. So go there.
Again.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, you know what though? Every time we come on, and there's so many people that are hearing
some
about
listen and some don't.
Some people are new people that tune in, and so that's why I do that.
And if not, what they say, anything good, you have to hear a few times, so it clicks in. So anyway, King's World of Marble, we have been in business since 1995 in Phoenix, and we used to do full fabrication and installation. And then a little bit later on, quite a few years later, we decided to change over to maintenance and basically repairs and restoration. And that works out a lot better for us. First of all, it's less overhead, less stress, and we the fixers.
The stress is on the marble.
Yeah, no kidding.
Right.
Oh,
I
yeah,
said I was so
absolutely.
good. I am
Yeah,
quick
you
like
are.
that.
Yeah.
But you know, I want to talk about you in particular, just the people who own King's World of Marble. First of all, what makes them different is they are European trained.
Correct.
But it goes further than that. Like I'm looking at you, and I know that you are, and this is a good thing
Okay.
when I say this. You're a perfectionist,
Yeah.
and being that you are, when you are having somebody do your work for somebody who has, let's say, messed something up, or there's cracks and you want it fixed so that it's back to its original state,
Right.
you want somebody who is a perfectionist.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
And so is Seamus, and so is
Oh,
Pat
everybody.
and my son.
Everybody.
Everybody in the company right now is because they're all trained. We all trained, and we all basically. Seamus always calls me, "Oh God, the German engineering." Okay,
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Oh yeah, because everything has to be meticulous and particular, and so the guys doing the same thing. So they know that when they touch something, it's done right. And so, and I was just telling you about one of the jobs where, we were called in after two other so-called restorer came in, and they fouled it so bad. I mean, the owner was so disgusted about it, and that was a $40-something thousand job.
Wow.
Ready to rip it all out. And then, Seamus and Travis came in and they repaired it and they're over the moon. And I was just saying, I should have read their review because the review was fabulous, what she wrote.
Oh, I wish we could see that. Try
Well,
and get that maybe at the
The
break.
problem is, I was looking through, I go, where did she write the review? She sent me a copy, I got it, I read it, I answered back and thanked her definitely, from all my heart, what a great client she is, and all that kind of stuff. And then I was like saying to Seamus, I go, I should read it loud on radio. And I can't find it, because I don't know if it's on Yelp or on BBB or, and sometimes, like this was up in Desert Mountain, so sometimes they have their own kind of paper or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it could have been there too. So.
Oh, well, it'd be great to get
So
that.
next time I find it, I'll
I'll
read
tell
some
you
of
something.
them,
They are 5-star rated everywhere.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because of the kind of people that you are, you've been doing this since 1995.
Yeah, just in Phoenix, 95, and then Phoenix, and before that, Seamus was in San Diego for a few years. He trained in Australia, he trained in Ireland and England, so he has a lot of years under his belt.
And he knows stone.
Oh, definitely, he
Right?
definitely is my stoner.
Yeah, he's a stoner, man. But what's really nice is that what you do is help people because, let's say you have a home and you have beautiful marble,
Right.
but you haven't been maintaining it. You don't know, you don't even realize that it has gotten deteriorated, if I say it correctly like that.
Well,
I don't
it's
really
like,
know.
I always says, it loses its luster.
Mhm.
The stone gets just dead looking, okay? And so once we go in, we refurbish it. or we maintain it. Sometimes it's just a simple maintaining,
Mhm.
okay? Just get it sealed and cleaned and re-waxed, and it looks like new or better.
How often should they be doing that?
Well, in a normal kitchen, if you use it a lot, I would always say once a year.
Mhm.
Okay, and it depends on the stone too. There's some stones I would recommend every 6 months. You know, and if you like me, I cook a lot, I bake a lot, I make a big mess.
Yeah?
Okay.
It's
yeah.
good though,
That's,
tastes good.
yeah, I make a good mess. And I have it in-house, so Seamus just, there's times if I'm not around or whatever, if I'm gone for a day or two, I look, you know, I have a camera. So I look and I go, what is he doing? He's polishing.
Well, of course.
Of course.
Pride of ownership.
Yeah, pride of
right?
ownership, yeah.
Well, you know, and that comes in right now,
Yeah, yeah.
especially for people that, you know, you've never done it.
Right.
And you think that, I think people just think that it's just such a hard, durable, actually, I don't know if I'm saying it right.
Well, it's
It's
a, yeah, durable.
They just
stone.
don't realize that
Yeah.
they do need to take care of it.
But if you think about it, it's a natural stone. And
Mhm.
if you look at nature and you put some water on it, what does it do?
After
Any
a
stone,
while.
it sucks it right straight in.
Mhm.
And so even if you have a polished stone, you know, you close the stone and it doesn't penetrate as fast, but if you do not seal it, it would still penetrate.
So I have a question.
Sure.
Let's say somebody, is there any crack that is too big or too much? Obviously, if it's really bad,
No, that's
like huge.
That's a double-sided question.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sure. I love that. See, that's why I love her. She's so funny. And you know, yes, it is. Yeah.
Well, actually, there's no crack too big or too small.
Okay. See,
Now, in
isn't that
real
nice?
life, it's different, but under
Yeah.
the stone end of it.
So not really?
No.
Okay, good. That's
Is
good to
anything-
know. Because some people, I don't know if anyone's ever had this happen to them, because you work on, you know, flooring,
Correct.
right? I mean, anything natural stone, and we all have it. It's beautiful.
Right,
But now we have these beautiful pots that are really heavy,
yes.
you know,
Yes.
and they're great.
The cooking
But God
pots.
forbid you drop it.
Oh, yeah. You
What
can-
happened?
Yeah, you can chip, you can damage, you can crack.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot of, and we do, especially around the sink sections, there's a lot of times where all the cracks appear.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's-
the
it
most.
doesn't even have to be a heavy pot, it
The
can be
bathrooms
anything.
and the kitchen.
Yep, yeah,
Mhm.
definitely. And so, yeah, we go in and we repair the chips, or we repair, the other thing talk about the cracks, because the older days, remember I used to say they used to put rods in. And so any water goes in or whatever, the rod will rust, and so it expands and your granite cracks. And it usually happens in the front of the sink or in the back of the sink. But most people, some go in, but they can do the repair, and all they do is fill it. But they do not fix that problem, because you actually have to go in. My guys go in, they take that piece apart completely, puzzle it back together down the line, but they have to take the rod out, because that's the problem.
So what do they put in place?
There's nothing,
They don't have to?
don't have to.
So, okay, this is what I love about them, because
Yeah.
they're gonna go in and do the job correctly
That's
for you. And by the way, in a lot of people, they'll see a crack, or they'll see something, but they think, just like your window, your windshield, you right, in your car, I'll wait till it gets bigger.
Yep.
Is that bad?
It's bad,
It's really bad.
it's really bad.
Yeah, you don't wanna have big cracks
No.
anyway, you
No.
know. And you do wanna take care of your cracks as well. And yes, we do love talking about cracks and people's cracks
Yep.
and how to fix
And
them.
holes.
And all sorts of things. So, but the main thing is that you do need to take care of them, and that's what we're here to talk about. Maintenance, 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 it's all about that. Now, you can check them out on their website, which is kingsworldofmarble.org. They are 5-star rated everywhere. They work statewide. Their number is 602-451-2689. They're rated with the Better Business Bureau, licensed, bonded, and insured. Hang tight. We'll be back in just a minute.
It goes so fast,
I
doesn't it?
know, I can't believe it.
It's like.
No matter what, because we're having fun too. That's the other part of it.
Yeah, definitely.
So, now, because since we're live there.
Oh.
Right, because I don't know when you work with people and you go in there and you see there's part of it that needs to be done over here.
Right.
But you must take a whole intake on everything.
Well, we actually do. Sometimes Seamus goes in and they just see a crack, or they'll be called it just for a chip, or God knows, some whatever repair. And then that's when it comes in, you know. I do the same thing. Seamus would go and feel the countertop. It goes like, and you see it right off the
Yeah,
bat.
when's the last time
When's the last
you
time
had?
you done anything on that?
Right, and he knows, he
Yeah,
knows
yeah,
a
yeah,
minute.
of course.
Yeah.
And you, every time I goes anywhere, I usually run my hand underneath too. Okay, so you see all the different loops and the stuff that runs underneath, and you go, I think you need a maintenance.
Yeah, yeah. I don't remember, and I don't even have this written down now, but yeah, you are both residential and commercial,
Yes.
I should say that, yeah.
Yeah, we both.
Yeah, I
And we
think-
do both.
Yeah.
We just did the Veterans Memorial at Anthem.
Goodness gracious.
At Anthem.
Nice, you
It's
might wanna say
huge.
some of those things.
It's huge pillars.
Wow.
And I was telling Mike, what handles all that, who the hell was that brainless?
Who
And-
made that?
Yeah, and put veneer, marble veneer, what is that then versus actually stone, at least a
Wow.
half inch, okay? And so what happens is they didn't close the top, so water goes in and all of a sudden it blew out part of it, like about 8 feet up.
Oh my
Blew out
God.
some of that, and so Seamus goes like, yeah, I think we can fix it. And we were looking at it and I'm like, and they did, so they duct taped everything first to take this whole piece out on the duct tape, and then puzzle it back together, left it on the duct tape, put it back up
Talk about
there.
that on air,
Put
that's
it
kinda
back
neat.
up there again, and then we polished it, and you cannot see the difference. And so we end up actually doing the whole thing now, all the colors, and we did the maintenance on it. And these
That's a
guys are
big
just,
job.
yeah, and these guys are just over the moon. They go, that's the best that it looked, you know, so they're real
That's
happy.
so cool.
And now they want us to come in because there are bricks on the floor, and they had a vigil, and they had all these candles, and so all the candle wax is all over. And so Seamus put poultice on, and we were just talking, Michael's like, can you send me a estimate how to fix that? And I'm like, there's hundreds of these, and I'm like, as Seamus and I talked about it, they go, no, you might just wanna darken it, because doing all
Well,
this
the-
job was just with the poultice, trying to pull that
But I
wax
know
out.
what happens too, cause I have had, let's say a candle that over melts a little bit, and the oil
Yeah, it goes right in.
stains. Yeah.
And so that's what I said to my daughters, maybe age it.
Welcome back. We've been talking a little bit to Facebook Land, but we literally were just talking to ourselves here about a big job that you are doing, and I want you to talk
No,
about
we've just finished
that.
it, yeah.
That you
Yeah.
just finished, and we were talking about candles, and a lot of people do use candles.
Right.
I don't think we've ever even mentioned this before, but candles, you know, when they melt, obviously the wax goes all over, and
it's-
sometimes it does.
It's like an oily stain.
It does, it's an
And
oil
it
stain.
Seeps in.
And how do you get that out?
Well, you have to use poultice and
Mhm.
some chemicals, try to pull it out, and sometimes you have to apply it 2, 3, 4 times in
Mhm.
order to fix that. So our job sometimes goes back and forth, 3, 4 times to one of the residents. or
Especially
whatever.
for something like
Yeah.
that. Tell them what you were just talking about.
Well,
what you
we were just
finished.
talking about that the guys just did the Veteran Memorial at Anthem, and it has these huge pillars, and they were using veneer marble instead, slab marble, okay, and it's really thin, and so it wasn't closed up correctly from the top, so the water goes in behind it and literally it bubbled out a panel. And so the guy is going, yeah, I think it's a challenge, you know, they have challenges all the time, and I'm like, sometimes I'm like, oh no.
Mhm.
But they did, and so they actually had to duct tape the pieces in place in order to take then the pieces
Wow.
back down so they don't fall apart, put them on the ground, fix it, put it back up with the duct tape together, and then polish it out.
That's
and
big
you
work.
cannot even see it that it ever broke.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's really a great job done.
Now, you bring something to my mind, which
Okay.
is the kind of veneer marble
Right.
that they purchased, probably because they were saving money.
Well, either
There's
that.
gotta be a reason for
No,
that.
like a lot of times what I've noticed in the past, and especially when we were fabricating, you're dealing with designers and architects, okay? A lot of designers don't have the full knowledge either. They go by the colors and what it looks like and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. So it's probably a designer fault, you know?
But when you're working with somebody, do you help people, like, if they called you and said, you know, well, we're building a home and we wanna have, you know, marble, whatever it is that you
Right.
want, granite, do you do that?
Yeah, not as much anymore, but when we fabricate it, definitely.
Yeah.
You know, because somebody goes in, oh, I want marble in my kitchen and I want this and that, or even certain granites, because not all granite is the same. So some granites are softer, some granites will stay more.
Mhm.
And so I would always ask, okay, are you gonna have a kitchen which is gonna be pretty, or are you gonna have a work
Mhm.
kitchen?
Mhm.
Because if you do work in it and you have children whatsoever, stay away from that. So you kind of move them, you know, in
Mhm.
a different direction. But the old days, come on, they used to have white marble, the white Carrara, they used to use on the kitchens all the time. And then, especially in Italy and Europe, and then it actually looked good if it was stained up.
Oh,
Because,
really?
yeah, that's gave it character.
Yeah,
That's
I can
better.
understand that.
And some people still put that in.
Yeah.
To this day.
Let me just say something too, we were just obviously mentioning, they do residential and commercial, but, you know, natural stone is huge. I mean, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
There's so many people. Also, in beautiful homes, all the homes are doing it. And I wanted you to get out, because the next guest, I want you to meet her too. But I want you to talk a little bit about what you do with real estate agents, right? And that's really cool, because you can do this too. You can help do something special instead of just getting a bottle of wine or what have you.
Right, well, we deal with a lot of real estate agents.
I bet.
And, yeah, and so a lot of it is like when you put a house on the market. So we actually deal either with the agent or the homeowner. We come in, we inspect, and then we tell them what needs to be repaired, or we just do a maintenance, spruce it up, so two things on that. If there's a big repair, they can use it as a closing deal. We go like, you know, I give you X amount for the carpet and I give you X amount for that. So that's one thing.
Mhm.
And then when you, the buyer's agent, so when you have a closing, instead to give a bottle of wine or something, give them a maintenance.
Yeah.
You know, or,
It would be awesome. They would love it.
yeah, and that doesn't need to be used now, because I do certificates that are good for, no, a couple of years.
Uh-huh.
So we date them and they're good for a couple of years, or whatever time.
But also, if you're trying to sell your home, so it looks beautiful,
Yeah,
would
you
you be
wanna,
just?
yeah, you wanna have it, and that's what we do a lot. We come in and the owner will call us in and go, I have it ready to put the house on the market,
Mhm.
you know, what can I do? And I dearly, the funny thing is, you know, they have a crack here, they have stuff here, and they live like this for years,
Mhm.
and then they spend the money when they're ready to sell.
Isn't
And
that
you go,
sad?
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
go like, and then they go, oh my God, I never realized it looks that good. And you
Mhm.
wanna go, mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could have lived with that
Yeah,
for all
yeah,
of those years.
exactly,
But it is
exactly.
good that they do it,
Yes,
right?
yes.
The other thing that I wanna talk about too, because still people are changing their sinks,
Oh, yeah.
right?
We do a
And we
lot of
wanna talk
change
about
out.
that, yeah, go ahead.
Well, you know how for a while we have the 2 bowl sinks and the 3 bowl sinks, but
Mhm.
sometimes I go like, why do we need 3 bowls anyway? You know, but okay. So now the I always ask.
They're bowls.
Yeah, the bowls.
Mhm.
The fat is now, it's 1 large.
Mhm.
Okay, and I had it done too, I have it exchanged. But then they'll call you and I go, oh, I bought a sink, you know, and then
Mhm.
you're looking at the sink, I go, well, great, I can make the hole bigger, but I cannot make it smaller.
Mhm.
So call us out first, we'll give you an estimate in regards what you should put in.
Yeah, that's
Okay?
important.
Yeah, and then buy a sink or whatever and we.
I
put it
wanna
in.
talk about this too, real quickly, which is, a lot of people are DIY, you know, do-it-yourselfers, and they'll go onto
Yeah.
YouTube and, you know, get all the information, and they try and do it themselves.
I just got a referral the other day, and I always say, send me some pictures so I can have a look. And so I looked at, it was a crack, and so I looked at the crack, and the first thing I said to her, who repaired that
Mhm,
first,
mhm.
okay? And so you didn't get an answer back, and you wanna go ding, 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 hello, are we talking?
Yeah,
And so she came back and goes, it was my husband.
yeah.
Yeah, and so we filled the crack with God knows what, and it looked horrible. And so, yeah, that's the ones with trying to fix it.
Well, you shouldn't try and fix it
Yeah.
yourself. You should call them and have the professionals do the job right for you in the first place.
But a good professional with a good reputation. And the other thing is
5-star rated
yeah,
everywhere.
let them, we always give a sample. You know, A lot of them, they come in, they think they can do it whatsoever, they touch the surface and they cannot bring it back. Have them give you a sample. Okay, so the countertop's going to turn out like this. If you're satisfied with that, that's good. The floor is going to turn out like this.
Mhm.
Have them give you a sample.
I love that you do that,
Yeah.
because I guarantee you the others don't.
No,
But
I know
and I
they
don't think we've ever said that, but
Yeah.
you know what, we've been saying, if, you know, the word on the street is if King's World of Marble can't fix it, nobody can. Have them give you a sample, I'm gonna write it down on my notes,
Right.
because it's very important, and you do it on everything that you
We
do.
do it on everything.
This is what it's gonna turn out like, that's awesome.
And it's even with the flooring, because
Yeah.
a lot of times they go, oh, I want this and I want this, and then on the end, all of a sudden you, well, I didn't think it should be looking like this, so get a sample.
Yeah, that's awesome that they do that.
And
They
we-
were,
Yeah, even on, sorry, even
Go
on
ahead.
the floor, we give different types of samples, so you know exactly what you want, you know, so.
I think that's awesome, because it really shows that you know exactly what you're doing, and
Exactly.
this is what you're gonna see and what you're gonna get out of it, right?
Yeah.
Nobody else does that.
Yeah.
So they've been doing, that's why they are who they are and why they're called to do the kind of jobs that you do everywhere.
Right.
Now, they're not calling the little small guy to come out and do what you did in Anthem, no way.
No.
Right,
They have a
so,
little small guy there.
I'm not going down that road with you, so, but licensed, bonded, and insured, and they do free estimates, they're gonna give you a sample of what it's gonna look like when it's done, and you can check them out on their website, which is kingsworldofmarble.org. You can also go on Facebook, which is King's World of Marble Maintenance, and there's more pictures there as well. Like I said, 5-star rated everywhere. And the next time you gotta bring that review, I'd love
I
to
will,
read it
I
on
will,
the
yeah.
air for you.
Yeah.
And, you know, rated with the Better Business Bureau, and their number is 602-451-2689. If you're a real estate agent, if you're selling your home, there's a reason to call them. If you've got a crack, if you think you got a crack, they're the ones to call. Again, that number is 602-451-2689. What are your final words?
My final word?
Yeah, we have a minute.
Oh, gee.
Well, we'll just leave it
Live
with
well.
Live well is true, but
Happy
look at that.
Tuesday.
And here's this, this woman that called you, you know, she could have had, looking at that luxurious piece of granite or marble or whatever it was, and she waited till she was selling her
Yeah,
home.
yeah.
I bet you a lot of people do that.
Oh, they do. When I
Yeah.
was in real estate, they're always, and I used to be like, why?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you paint, you do new carpets, you do all that kind of stuff for somebody else. You spend all that money.
Why don't you do it for yourself?
Yeah.
You deserve it.
Yeah.
Their number to call is 602-451-2689. 5-star rated everywhere, rated with the Better Business Bureau, licensed, bonded, and insured, statewide. You can check them out on their website. It's kingsworldofmarble.org.
Good job.